Wow, chicka wow wow. Hey, good evening, friends. Welcome to another episode of Elevate Your Life. I am your hostess with the mostess, L as in the letter L, and key as in the key to your heart. Well, today is Monday, so it is Mindful Monday. March 3rd, and not a lot to share or talk about with all of you other than just some personal experiences and updates that I would like to share with you. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to our subscribers. I can't really say sponsors, but I want to say thank you to our subscribers. Jeff Para. I want to make sure that I talk about him and the upcoming events that he likes to share. Also want to give a shout out to Nicole and Zach from Zacky's Sweet Treats, the delectable cookies that I mentioned that you can get via ordering online, $20 per dozen. Delicious, delectable, great for any birthday party, anniversary, upcoming celebration. I guess the next one would be St. Patrick's Day. I wonder if they're going to do, how about a nice green Rice Krispie treat? That would be my request, Nicole and Zach. Let's see. Lisa Roberts Carbello, shout out to you. Long time no see or hear from. And Mike Kaufman, of course, my supporting husband. And did I leave anyone out? I hope not. So let's get into it. Well, first things first, I want to update you. Sorry that I wasn't available last Wisdom Wellness Wednesday. However, as my regular listeners know, I have been battling some sort of mystery rash illness involving my mouth, of all things. We are on week 9 now, and it's still a mystery to the doctors, unfortunately. And so during the interim, I have taken matters into my own hands, which is doing a lot of homeopathic remedies, chaga mushroom, sea moss gel, oh my gosh, collagen, vitamins. It would take me all night to list all of the things I'm doing, guys. Saline, baking soda rinse, what's left of my steroid rinse subscribed to me by the doctor. Yeah. So the mystery has not been solved, unfortunately. And I just want to say thank you to all my loyal listeners who have been sending me fan mail or reaching out via Facebook. It has been such a relief to me to have a community of people that are coming together and just brainstorming ideas of what it could or could not be, and offering me suggestions of things that I could try to either ask my doctor or implore my doctor of. So it has been super helpful and just so comforting to know that I have what I feel is a good sense of community and support system. And I feel that that's so important for every person, especially when you are going through an unknown health crisis. So for that, I thank you. I appreciate you. Because I'll be honest, I could use all the help I can get. And so, speaking of such, I just want to let you know, for those of you who are not on my Facebook or on my Instagram or on my TikTok, which Elkivate Your Life podcast via Facebook, Elkivate podcast Instagram, Elkivate Your Life podcast TikTok. So depending on what platform you know me or listen to me on. Sorry, guys. You may hear me drinking here and there because, well, one of the symptoms is dry mouth. And if any of you have had any sort of mouth lesions or anything like that, then, dry mouth is a thing. It's real. And it's super uncomfortable. Basically, my mouth always feels like it's on fire. Imagine living with that. Hats off to people that live in chronic pain, such as my dear friend Lisa Johnson, who I went to high school with. And I'm sure there's countless others out there that listen to me that suffer these things. So I don't want to take away from their experience or minimize it. But I have been living in a very painful place for 9 weeks now, where my mouth always feels like it's on fire. Just to all you doctors, nurses, and whoever's out there that's listening, it is not on my tongue. It is on the inside of my cheeks and lips, so mucosa. And it is not a dental thing. I went to a dentist just to check that off the list. And my dentist thankfully said, "Your gums look great and your teeth are fine." Not that I ever expected anything else, because I am an avid brusher, rinser, flosser. I may not have the most beautiful, straightest teeth like the Carrie Underwoods and all of those Hollywood smiles, but I do try to take very good care of my teeth and my gums. So, that being said, reason I'm bringing it up is when I went to see him and asked him to look at my mouth and the rash, he, of all people, stood there, crossed his arms, and said, now let's think about this. What could it not be and be? What have they tested for? And so he began to brainstorm with me, which I really appreciated, because while I love my doctors at Kaiser, I just don't feel that they are giving me the time and the attention that I am asking for. And maybe because they're not taking it as seriously as I am, maybe because they have too many patients and not enough time. I don't want to falsely accuse anybody, but the fact of the matter is, it literally went from, I have dry mouth. I guess I need to drink more water, to, oh my God, my mouth is in so much pain. I need to call Kaiser, and looked in the mirror and was like, what the actual F is happening in my mouth? And so when I did that, I don't know how, it literally went from 0 to 100. So I don't know how long I had the rash when I called. And then when I called the advice nurse, she basically told me there's no appointments available. So there wasn't anything for like a week or so. So basically I had to go the advice nurse route and then communicate with my doctor via pictures and email. And it was like, okay, I'm going to prescribe you this paste. I guess it was an antifungal. And she was like, yeah, use this for a week or so, and it should clear it up. I don't know about any of you, but putting a paste inside your mouth, it's like, how is it going to stay? I had to put it on the inside of my cheeks and my lips. And so you're talking, you're drinking, you're eating. So I didn't feel like that was an effective approach. But I love my doctor. I listened to her. I followed until the tube was gone. And I was like, okay, tube is gone, but rash is not. Now what? Oh, okay, now I got to refer you to ear, nose, and throat. And I said, I'd really like to come in and for you to look at it. And this is where it gets scary, guys, is that when I went in to see her, she has been my doctor, I want to say 15 to 20 years. So she knows me, she knows my kids. I feel like we have a personal relationship at this point. And after going down the list of, well, it doesn't look like thrush, and it's not strep, and it's not herpes or whatever, it's not cold sores. Where it got scary for me is I asked, have you ever seen anything like this before? And her response was, no, I have not. This is where I got scared because I'm like, this has been my doctor for this amount of time. And while she is a primary physician, I thought, you haven't seen anything like this before, so clearly it's unusual, out of the ordinary. Anyway, made me scared. So fast forward, ear, nose, and throat. Now more time has gone by. Now we're like several weeks in. She says it looks like mucositis or possibly lichens planus. And as she's telling me this, me being the researcher and reader that I am, spell that for me, please. I'm looking it up in my phone as she's documenting my file. She diagnoses me with that, prescribes me steroids, which not a fan, didn't want to do it, but she was like, I feel like we really have to hit this hard because it looks very painful and you have a lot of inflammation, so this should help. So steroids 6 times a day, six times a day for 6 days, plus a steroid mouthwash rinse to do 4 times a day. Guess what, folks? That didn't work either. So then a biopsy. Thankfully, biopsy came back no cancer and not lupus. So the mystery lives on. Now, fast forward March 17th, I am to go to dermatology because they're thinking skin, inside the mouth, seems like that's the place we should send you. So, while I've received a referral from my dentist late last week to go to UCSF, now the struggle is getting through to UCSF. That has been my challenge. I managed to get through the main number and was transferred to the correct department on Friday, and it was such a crazy day that I was on the phone. I got to the right department. I got to a person. I remember her asking me my name and the reason for my call. And after that, it's a blur. And some of you are probably thinking, what? You got this far and it's a blur? But I want you to bear in mind, I am on such a limited diet. And I don't mean the kind of diet, I'm on a diet to lose weight. I mean, I am on such a limited eating profile right now that I have brain fog. I am forgetting things. My husband is usually the one to forget things. I am like the elephant that remembers all. So I don't know if the woman got my information and put me on hold and forgot about me, or she asked me information and put me on hold and then I hung up because the kids. I don't know. And, well, Mondays are always crazy with the kiddos. So, yeah, still haven't gotten into UCSF. But I guess I should say we're making progress. Last Friday, I went to Kaiser and did another slew of tests. I think it was like another 20 blood test vials. So all in all, they've done, we're probably at 100 blood tests by now. And the one that is coming back positive, not once, but twice, is the ANA test. So, as I understand it, from what I read, because I haven't had a conversation with my team, is that if the ANA comes back positive twice, then they have to run additional tests. So that's where we are, folks. And these are the days of our life. Yeah, sorry to take up so much of your time talking about my health concern, but it kind of goes back to the whole mindful Monday of being mindful of your body and listening to your body. And hindsight is 2020. I just wish that I would have listened to my body sooner and thought to look in my mouth. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it happened overnight. I don't know if it happened through, time. I just know that I went from dry mouth to this. So, kind of scary. So, I encourage all of you, listen to your body, because your body will tell you when something's wrong. And it's so important, because what I've discovered through this process, because I'm all about what is the lesson here, is that we have to advocate for ourselves, which I said in my last podcast. We can't rely on anyone else to do so, whether it's in our health situation with our doctors, or in relationships, or in your job. You have to advocate for yourself. You can't necessarily rely on anyone else. And that is what I've discovered in this process. And so now, by me listening to my body, I'm like, oh, hey, here's something you didn't know. My nails have been very fragile and frail. And according to lichen planus, that's one of the signs. Of course, now my doctors are saying, well, if it was lichen planus, the steroids would have gotten rid of it. So we think we've ruled that out. Okay. Very frustrating, to say the least. So the other thing I would love to talk about, and I'm sure we'll revisit this on Wednesday, Wisdom Wellness Wednesday, right? But the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is, did anyone watch the Oscars last night? And if you did, was it all that you expected it to be? Reason I'm asking is, well, I didn't remember that the Oscars were on. Thank you to my friend who told me, oh, no big deal, we can't connect, I'm watching the Oscars. I'm like, oh, shoot, okay. So, I did watch, and I have to say that I was in agreement with a lot of the Oscars decisions. Wicked, Anora. Although I kind of had mixed opinions about Anora. And I do think some of this has to do with, sometimes you have to be in the right mindset to watch something. But I just kind of felt like it was, I don't know, like I felt some parts were a little bit cheesy and predictable. And I don't mean to sound critical, because it won a lot of awards and I'm happy for them, especially because I found out after the fact that It was on a lower budget. Let's see. But I'm just curious what everybody thought about who won. I saw the Demi Moore movie also, and my mind is going blank. The Substance, maybe, is what it was called. I thought that was a great movie. I thought Demi Moore did a great job. I have some opinions about how it ended. I guess I won't go down that road in case you haven't seen it, because then I'll be giving it away, right? But yeah, I'm just kind of curious if anybody watched the Oscars and what you thought. If the people that won, you predicted it, and you know what your thoughts are. I would love to hear it. And that is where segue into fan mail. No matter what platform you listen to the podcast on, you are given an option to text in your feedback. And by doing so, you have the opportunity to text in your feedback, and it basically becomes a fan mail. So you could text, it gives you the option to text. You can put in whatever identity you want. You don't have to go by your name. And so you could submit questions. You could ask me advice about something. If you would like, if there's a topic that you have in mind that you would like me to talk about, I welcome this feedback, ladies and gentlemen. I read my fan mail. Some of them are pinned to my podcast on the Buzzsprout platform. And I would love that. And for those of you who don't subscribe, I just want to let you know, if you choose to, it can be as little as a cup of coffee. So it starts at $3 and goes up to $10 a month. And what this does for me is gives me an opportunity to build my brand and get another microphone, get a camera. I'm able to be face to face on camera, also to have guests such as yourself, and yes, have a much broader audience. That is the goal with me doing my podcast. Is I do feel that I've gone through a lot of life's experiences, so I do feel that I have wisdom to share with you and others. And being a single mom for, over 20 years has definitely, I've come from the school of hard knocks. Being raised in various different environments, from growing up in the East Bay, being the only European Caucasian in areas like Oakland, San Leandro, Hayward. Even with my Uber and Lyft driver experiences, that's kind of what gave me the idea to go with this platform, is that I feel like I've always overcome adversity, and I want to be the voice that others out there don't have. And because I was a minority in a lot of the neighborhoods that I grew up in, I didn't really feel like I had a voice. And I had to learn from the school of hard knocks. I got my butt kicked a lot, and it taught me. It taught me a lot of things. And so one of the things I realized in my adult life is that I never want anybody to feel left out or bullied or like they don't have a voice. And I always want to come to those people's defense. Even in the school now, I hate to see somebody being picked on or doesn't have a lab partner or somebody to work on a project with. Always kind of rooting for the underdog, I guess, because in my younger years, I was the underdog. And so that is a big reason why I'm on here and do what I do, is I want to be that shoulder to cry on, that ear to listen to you and your struggles. And I mean, that's where Mama Elke came from, is that I just have a very nurturing side to me where I want everyone to feel included, loved, appreciated, not judged. And I'm trying to create a safe space for that. So I hope that translates in my podcast. I thank all of you for being a loyal listener. And I usually like to name all of the people: Mike Kaufman, Travis Lemire, Parker True, Iman and Adam, Lisa Walls Johnson. I don't know if Sarah Aggie is still listening. Carly Muser, Nancy Nottage. I would like to think that my subscribers are listening to my podcast, but I don't know. I would like to think so. I feel like I always end up leaving somebody out. Barry Miner. Andrew Mendoza claims to listen to all my podcasts, but I haven't really heard any feedback, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure there's others that I've left out because it would probably take me my whole episode to list everyone that tells me that they do listen. So thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I appreciate it. I do want to let all of you know, if you're not necessarily one that listens to a podcast and you're like, oh, I just don't have the time. Most of the people that listen to podcasts, they do so during their commute time, whether it's on their way to work or on their way home, or while they're getting ready in the morning, while they're using the bathroom, taking a shower, working out, walking their dog or cat or whatever you have, whatever animal you have. There are times where you can find time to listen, and I want to thank the loyal listeners that do, and just let you know, sometimes we don't think of when we're able to listen, but I just gave you some ideas when you could. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me ramble on about my mystery mouth. The saga continues. And I would love to hear your thoughts on the Oscars. Oh, yes. A shout out to my friends, Kara and Tom. I often brag about their talents. They both have Etsy, and they are both super talented, so I do like to mention them. So Kara is better known as Love My Artist, and her Etsy is lovemyartist.etsy.com, and she has everything from artwork that she creates to musical videos that you contribute to family members or friends. Currently, right now, she has a lot of things for St. Patty's Day, which, love it. I'm actually trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for St. Patrick's Day. But also she did some personalized beach wedding, beautiful sand dollar favors, poetry, songs, clothing, just a variety of different things. So I highly recommend you check her out. And so I told you about Kara. Now on to Tom. Tom also is a creative soul and has an Etsy account. Bear with me. I can never remember theirs by heart, so I always have to look for it. Oh my gosh, forgive me. His stuff is more woodwork. And my gosh, I'm not finding it, guys. Thank you for being so patient. I'm not finding it on his page. Tom Guzik is his name. And a lot of his stuff is more rustic. And both of them are just super talented. Oh my gosh. Trying to find it. Okay, well, it might have to go in Wednesday's episode instead of tonight's. I'm sorry, Tom. But I'm not remembering your Etsy. Oh, wait. Maybe I found it. minerspickstudios.etsy.com. There we go. And like I said, his things are more rustic, made out of actual wood or metal pieces. He does a lot of laser engraved things, dream catchers, hanging decor for various different occasions. And they're just both super talented, so keep them in mind. And then, of course, my buddy Zach, Zacky's Sweet Treats. You can get a dozen cookies for $20. And they were doing a promo code autism where you could get a percentage off. I think it was 10 or 20%. I don't know if they're still running it because it was only during the holiday time. But they have delicious cookies. They deliver from brownies to chocolate chip, peanut butter, macadamia, a variety of different flavors. I haven't had one of their cookies that I didn't like. I'll include all of these in my content at the bottom so you'll be able to see the website or see the link, because I'm sure a lot of you might be driving or busy doing something to where you can't stop and write the information down. Totally get it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I look forward to your fan mail and or subscriber sponsorship. Pretty simple. I will provide you the link via Buzzsprout. But like I said, it could be as little as a cup of coffee. And, also to Kyle Feud. Duh, how could I forget him? Sorry, Kyle. Yes, so if I haven't talked to you about Kyle Few's book, Commitment to Love. Love is a Verb. It's on Amazon via Kindle. It's like $2.99. Well worth the $2.99. It should be a lot more money. And okay, I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you. And namaste. Ciao for now.